I can't be drinking party water.
You see?
I cannot drink party water.
Konta bayifakile le.
Straight up. Mangifika lapha sengiyavota ngivotela bona manginika amanzi.
They were giving away biscuits. They were giving away coffee.
Biscuits.
I mean, you should have seen me dry lips saying no.
Let's go to biscuit would go down nicely right now with this saliva. We also saw something really, really shocking. MK. MK just became the number 3 party. The red guys just disappeared.
I do think, though, the DA and ANC coalition could make sense. I mean, I know a lot of people are talking about, if that happens, it's apartheid 2.0. So that's something that's trending on Twitter currently.
And people don't even know apartheid, but they're saying apartheid.
Yes.
Ama 2000.
Ama 2000.
They just experienced the World Cup 2010. That's the only thing. They know happiness. They know Zakumi.
Claudia Sheinbaum has been elected the first woman president of Mexico.
I hope she rules with the iron fist, because those cartels are serious in Mexico, bro. I'll deal in Abonyaope, no. These guys have helicopters and submarines.
So in terms of the total tweets from last week, you're seeing a record of 9 million tweets.
People have a voice now because their votes actually changed a lot of things. The ANC has a landslide victory like what they normally do.
Umshuti wabashuti is in the building. Yo, good late labs, eh?
Gaband. Good late go to Gaband.
Oh, good late.
Hey man, I think we also messed up last week. We voted for the wrong party. Now they took our lights.
Now we're in darkness. Man, just before we start, guys, I just want to say apologies for the bit of darkness if you're watching us on YouTube or wherever you're watching us. In truth, we didn't really vote for the wrong party, but what happened is I actually forgot the light at home from another gig. But yeah, unfortunately, we don't have great visuals today, but if you can hear us, stay with us. We're definitely going to bring you some amazing content. It's all about politics. Eh?
It's politiki, Brian. It's politiki, and it's not us moaning or complaining. It's us reporting on what people are saying, right?
Yeah. Ziyakhala.
They don't have jobs right now.
Hey, that lady. There was a lady who was crying from Durban. Eh? I think she's an MP or something. She was crying on the phone, basically like, "Yo, sifike kanjani in one day, sifike kanjani la." That's crazy.
They didn't respect the roles when they were there, because if they had, they'd still be voted for.
They were arriving to give people T-shirts, 3 million rand cars and stuff. That's what happens on it.
Done.
It's a lot. It's
hectic. But man, I'm just shocked by. We'll get into it. The numbers are just. I've never seen such.
Yeah, right.
In the history of Spaza Talk, and I think, maybe previously, but bro, I think it's just this year, man. These kind of numbers on Twitter, never.
I haven't seen these numbers before.
Ever.
Yeah, it's late. Where should we start?
Let's start with what happened last week, right?
Okay.
Last week we had, I think the largest contributor to our conversation today is going to be the elections.
Sure, yeah.
So we had our national elections on Wednesday, the 30th of May. No, the 29th.
29th. And to prove that, you have to show your thumb, obviously.
Yeah, your thumb. Hey, my thumb. Thumbs up, homie.
Yeah, thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
So you voted?
I voted, definitely.
Yeah.
Went there twice. I saw a queue. Yeah. I was like, you know what? I'm going to come back later. Because the Scottish voted, I'm a municipal elections. We went at night.
Yeah.
And it was like a few people. So I was hoping for the same thing. Went back at 5:30. I stood in the queue until 8 o'clock. Voting about 8.
So like 3 hours something.
Yeah, 2.5, close to 3.
Okay, yeah. I went in the morning, so even alone, I'm like, I just brushed my teeth. I walked down the road. I get there. It's a 1994 line.
Yo. Twisting and turning.
My nigga, I was at the end.
Snake.
And I got there and I'm at the end and I look around. I'm like, is this line moving? I move on. And you know, at the front it's moving, but at the back.
Yeah.
And so at the front it's not moving. At the back it's moving. It's like people trying to. But the front is not moving at all. And then Then they start saying baqala babiza bo
Amagama. A to G.
ABD. Skip to see. Oh, you should have seen the commotion.
Skip see.
Yeah.
Aboqele labo.
Abaqele too, abaqele. You should have seen the commotion. What about us? Abokotsi bayakhala. What about us? The videos is like, I don't know, bro.
But I'm in.
So some people literally they just got there.
Damn.
And then they went and voted like 10 minutes in and they voted. So I stood about 4 hours.
4 hours.
In there, I really underestimated it. Standing in there, you guys, you need to take snacks. You need to take a camp chair.
Water.
The next time, water when you go there, because some parties will offer you water, but you actually need to be super prepared.
I
for
can't be drinking party water.
You see,
I cannot drink party water.
They
Straight up. Mangifika lapha sengiyavota ngivotela bona manginika amanzi.
were giving away biscuits. They were giving away coffee.
Biscuits.
I mean, you should have seen me dry lips saying no.
Let's go to biscuit would go down nicely right now with this saliva.
But it's from Ulu, it's like, yo, I'm like, yo, that's biscotti.
Oh man. But we also saw something really, really shocking.
Yeah.
MK. MK just became the number 3 party. The red guys just disappeared.
But we knew the slaves.
Okay, we saw it coming.
We knew this from our stats because our stats told us this, that
Vote
the
MK.
MK,
Vote
and the MK was always number 3.
Sure.
Sure. In terms of like when we talk about the top 3 parties in South Africa, we talked about it is going to kick out EFF, and it actually has.
It did.
I was miss call confirm.
When it comes to politics, I think there was also a fatigue at EFF because Julius Malema has been saying a lot of things.
Yeah.
And his lies are catching up with him.
Sure.
So they just needed a refresh.
And I don't am open body mkhawat.
Yinto emkhawatile
Sure.
mostly.
Yeah.
Nalento yakhe ezokuba radical nje. I saw even the MK are being radical now. They were chasing some factory workers out in, I think it was in the KZN region because ilaba phethe khona.
Yeah.
They were chasing them out, and I was having a conversation with my bigger brother, Angelo, but how they are approaching it is wrong, right? With business people, be more diplomatic. Don't act radical and start banning stuff because they'll pack up and go back to China. That's more people losing jobs.
But do we really need them for our freedom, my nigga?
It's not really about freedom, Zooms. It's about the economy.
Yeah.
You understand? So we
at the expense of who? Sorry to cut you.
So at this case, the complaint to Bogo Goti, let me just give you a complaint to Goti. These Chinese guys are hiring foreign nationals that are not documented. And South Africans are struggling, right?
Yeah.
Sharp, but why do you have to go there, close the doors,
burn things down? Sure.
No, don't do that.
There's a diplomatic
Tell
way.
them, guys, let's have a meeting. We'll have a media briefing. Bizanne media and be transparent. And then you move forward from there.
Yeah, I hear you, and I definitely don't condone any of the violence and burning stuff.
Sure.
I do, though, think that some of these parties have come to a realization that if they don't rule their certain regions with an iron fist, it becomes difficult. I mean, Ulonduza Malema is failing to even fill up stadiums in his own province because of the open border thing. Because people in Limpopo are feeling that.
They're feeling the pain. You are in Hyde Park.
Yeah,
right?
You're in Hyde Park, and you don't feel the people coming in from outside. Then, that's the first place they start.
Yeah.
They're going to make more homes, La Payana. Yeah, but politics is becoming absolutely crazy, man. It's been a crazy week in South Africa. And, I mean, ANC has been dethroned. So they don't have now majority.
That power.
Yeah.
They need a coalition. They need someone for them to be able to lead with.
Do you think coalitions are going to happen, though?
Yeah, definitely. They're in talks right now as we speak.
Okay.
These parties are like, you know what? Let's put our differences aside.
So which coalitions
They're
do you
not
see?
that bad after all.
Their manifesto says, hey.
Hey, I like his head. I like Jacob's head.
Do you think Jacob and Ramaphosa and Steenhuisen are going to be
something?
Because that could be our deputy president to Steenhuisen.
Magangaba even better. I'll say that now on live YouTube. Even better.
Sure.
Because someone is going to hold ANC accountable, and that person will be right there.
But who's going to hold the one who's
They'll
holding?
Hold each other. They'll hold hands.
Why do we have this picture of the DA is innocent and they don't do anything wrong?
I I didn't say they're innocent.
You said they're going.
They're
Why?
gonna hold them because they play that. Angithi bona ukuthi we are the
No,
watchdogs. No, yilento sebaziposition that way. That's how they've positioned themselves
As a good party. They can look after resources.
As the like the neighborhood watch of some sort.
Okay.
Because they snitch on the ANC. Via FBI. That's
Who
what
snitches on them though?
Because we don't have time to snitch. We have to sort out our problems here at home.
I think we should be very wary because we know how politics is in this country.
Yeah.
Do we trust a political party to police another political party? Who says they're not in doing anything wrong? Because DA apparently has even sold the voting to the government of the United States or something like it to control the voting in
They
South
wanted
Africa.
to do that. And
Imagine
the
that.
United States told them directly, good, no, I think your country is capable to handle fair elections.
But imagine now, somebody like that must hold not us, but somebody else.
What are they snitches? That we can't hide. They are snitches. Like they run around. I'm a teacher's pet.
Okay.
But I'm a teacher's pet are right because I'm a good watchdogs.
Okay.
They watch and they will tell the teacher everything.
But
which is what we want.
We also
the
need
teacher is South Africa in this case.
Fair. We also need others to watch them too, because who police the bully? Yeah.
MK, ANC won't watch.
MK
or IFP, they can watch them.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
EFF,
But
EFF is gonna be too loud, and they're gonna snitch a Russia.
Who's gonna be fighting?
We don't want that.
Yeah, I do think though the DA and ANC coalition could make sense. I mean, I know a lot of people are talking about, if that happens, it's apartheid 2.0. So that's something that's trending on Twitter currently.
And people don't even know apartheid, but they're saying apartheid.
Yes.
I'm at 2000.
I'm at 2000.
They just experienced the World Cup 2010. That's the only thing. They know happiness. They know Zakumi.
It's late.
Hey, man.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So what else can we talk about?
So it's that, right?
Yeah.
Man, it's sad for the EFF, but on the matter of borders, there's a lady that was transferred to South Africa from Zimbabwe. I don't know if you remember this incident that happened last year or the year before, where she went to a Limpopo clinic or hospital and the doctors were negligent. I think Alimazega somewhere. She sued the state and they gave her 16 million.
Huh.
So ungenela across the border.
From outside.
Millionaire.
Is this, remember, was it a
Limpopo.
health thing? Was it a health?
Yes, it was a health thing.
Wow.
Yeah, she sued the Department of Health.
Well, she was here illegally.
Illegally.
Huh?
But about Dr. Beba negligent. A court yethu yamrula ukuthi hayi wena you deserve 16 M.
Are you saying there's something in the water there?
Hey man, I'm not saying something in the water, but what I'm saying is let's just lendo leyama border iyaskawatha ngokwethu. Now there is 16 million from the state, from taxpayers' money that went out. What I'm saying is either we fix the borders, or if we open the borders, we treat them fairly when they come to our hospitals.
For sure, yeah. I mean, look, the NHI bill does dress less. Foreign nationals, there's certain things they need to be here for. But that's interesting, Oguti. They can come in and get 16 million. Anybody can come in and get 16 million. But it reminds me of this Lomundo winner. I think it's 70 million on the lotto.
This past week.
I think it was the day
this of my cousin.
The day of elections or the day after.
I think it's my cousin.
Isn't that fishy, dog?
Huh.
Someone at the lotto won 70 million. Scam. So yeah. I think somebody ate there, bro.
Not someone. People. They ate. And
it was silent. That's a lot of money. They normally make a lot of noise about it.
Nah.
That's actually a scary one. But anyway, in politics, who do you see the EFF going in collision with?
No one wants the EFF at the moment.
Unfortunately.
Too radical.
But on Twitter, and the youth are saying they voted.
The youth voted. I think for me, there's a guy on LinkedIn that actually put out a post. I think I'll put a link just below this, where he touches on how good the outcome of what happened, like the good out of that.
For EFF or
for the country.
Okay.
We are sure it's gonna work out best for the country.
Coalitions.
We are touch coalitions, but we are sure in this case it showed people's votes actually. People have a voice now because their votes actually changed a lot of things.
Yeah,
The ANC
selection,
has a landslide victory like what they normally do.
Yeah, sure.
Which is like 51% or what.
That's so
this
true.
time they were 39 point something. Babati 40, they rounding off to the nearest 10. These niggas,
really
if
rough,
it was
eh?
school and it was OBE or just before layout, 31%, they would have failed.
They would have failed.
That's a
actually.
fail, nigga.
That is a
39
fail.
is a fail.
Oh. But you're right. It actually showed a lot. I mean, a lot of people were actually texting me. But Mkulwako Inside is actually making a lot of history here. And then you can feel and see the magnitude of what happened in his politics. It wasn't just about the ANC, but it was about the whole of politics in the country. Like a major shift happened. Coalitions might just happen. And the one person we should really look at is Jacob Zuma.
Yep.
And I mean, look, he's dominated KZN. And that's literally quite a big majority, and that's where the ANC had a majority, and it destabilized them completely.
Yeah,
that is crazy.
Kulma up front. My favorites are not in the big guns.
Okay,
my favorites are not there. But anyways,
so you voted for the small parties, basically. So, or your favorites, you saying, are in the small parties?
Yeah, it's in the smaller parties because of their manifestos, right? They made sense to me. They made sense to the future that I want my daughter to grow up in. Do you understand?
Here's a conspiracy theory. Don't you think the Oppenheimers funded all these small parties to actually distract
all rich guys?
Yeah.
All the rich guys fund all of them. Motsepe didn't fund the ANC only. He funded DA. There's a list that will come out with all the sponsors of these parties.
But listen to what I'm saying to this one.
Okay, sorry, Zoom.
That the Oppenheimers sponsored Rise Mzansi, Bosa, all these other parties to take away votes from the ANC, even though they might have the same votes as they always have. But now it distracts us from voting for the ANC. So we're like, maybe Bosa is nice. Maybe Rise Mzansi is actually nice to vote for instead of voting for the ANC. Because at the moment, it literally would have three parties, I would say, ideally. Because some of the votes were wasted. Go from Rise. And the Rise, where's Rise? Where's Bosa? Where's Musi? Musi had his good tweets.
And the Christian party. Why are you...
Which Christian party is this one?
Neglecting those guys. The
Which one?
ACDP. ACDP.
Labo about come up, labo.
But
you say those ones don't count. But
Yeah.
the new ones, they
Yeah.
definitely distracted
Yeah.
ANC voters like myself, because I actually didn't vote for... I voted for the smaller parties. And most probably I would have voted for the ANC if those small parties went there.
But Zooms... with all these billionaires, even though they invested in the smaller parties to get people to vote for them instead of the ANC, they still fund the ANC. It's hidden. They'll fund it through their other business.
I think the ANC Vele is in coops with like all of these guys.
Because they want whoever to rule so that they can push their own agenda.
For sure, yeah.
Whoever rules, if Zuma rules tomorrow, Oppenheimers have funded him.
But that's different. Ramaphosa was capturable by, and he has basically been captured by the Oppenheimers. Zuma, maybe on the other hand, is a different story because he's way more radical, like Julius. I mean, maybe even the EFF is funded actually.
But we don't know who they talk to. They might appear radical. That's the political hat on. So there's a business hat where they sit in boardrooms and discuss. Good, Mr. Zooms, please do this.
This is why I don't like politics, because I do think like we all being we're being made to vote for the best monkey.
Exactly.
It's a
game.
Yeah, it's a game. Yeah,
it's a game for them.
Yeah, and unfortunately for us, we have to vote.
Yep.
Interesting one.
Yep.
Anyway, what else do we want to talk about?
The Nedbank Cup. So it was the final this past weekend.
Oh yes.
Yeah, and we were there.
Yeah, of course. Big
in the box.
with the important guys. With the important guys. There wasn't somebody doing this to us.
No, there was no pushing and vuvuzelas close to me. You know what I'm saying? They get like a forget knife,
Sure.
all chilling.
Okay, Mr. Kunene needs a Coca-Cola. Mr. Zuma, sparkling water there. Okay. Oh yeah. It was that special.
No man, but I must say, Imbombela is a beautiful place.
Yeah.
The people there are very, very friendly. Like, they are super friendly, Zooms. The amount of conversations we had with random guys in JMF.
Sure.
I really enjoyed that, because in Joburg, it's all about people robbing you, thinking they are smarter than you. Those people are just grateful. But we love having this final here. It boosts our economy. People are happier. Get it damn. Because Mobela is dead. There's nothing to do, right? The only thing they hype about during the year is if go escape Lion and Kruger National Park. That's the only thing that's gonna get the city up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but
sure.
hey, Shimza never plays there. Kabza never plays there.
Utintswano.
DJ Tinswalo never plays
He
there.
doesn't even get tenders with it.
You know what I'm saying? So hey, man, it's tough now.
Yeah, but you know what? Shout out to Nedbank.
Nedbank, yeah.
You know, I'm gonna give him a shout out to their hospitality was amazing. Shout out to the people of Bombela. Also, they always just friendly. We obviously know Swaziland is very people from Swaziland are very friendly. And nangathi ngizoshada ngalena mpintshi yamazi.
Brian, ngizoya nanomuyo keep ilobola.
So hamba sonke.
Yeah, so hamba sonke Brian.
Yeah, and
I like those people. Nabo uncle, they won't give us problem. Like these Zulu uncles.
Yo, bazokumisa gate.
Vula mlomo wena. Hennessy akaza azayiphuza umalume wakhe.
Akayazi nokuyazi
But
Hennessy.
uthi bandi
Ufuna
Hennessy.
VSOP manje.
Ufuna VS.
VS. Anyway.
Anyways.
So Pirates won 2-1.
Dude, that game was just amazing.
It was a beautiful game.
From losing to winning.
Beautiful game.
Man, amazing game.
Yeah.
Pirates.
Shout out for real. Those are
And you guys know I
Nedbank cards,
converted, right?
Definitely. You should have seen
I
the
told
boy.
everyone.
You should have seen the boy.
I told everyone, Lapaya
Today,
Zooms,
up the
I saw this other guy, he wasn't angry, colored guy from Cape Town. I'm like, yo, dude, what's up? It's like, yeah, man, hey, Pirates won. I'm like, did your team win? It's like, nah, my team is Cape Town. What? Are they even in the PSL? It's like, nah. I'm like, you're wasting your time. I just converted last week. I'm Pirates now. I won. I'm happy.
I'm a winner today.
I'm up.
Straight up, though. But you know what? In other news of football, the Champions League happened, and Borussia Dortmund was playing Real Madrid, and Real Madrid also won. What was the score? Was it 2-1 also there? I think it was 2-1 on the really beautiful. So Real Madrid are the Champions League champions also, along obviously now Skolumile Ngai Nedbank Cup, which is also amazing. So 2 finals were happening on the same day. Beautiful day for football. Beautiful day for sports in general.
Sad day for ladies.
Sad day for ladies.
Because guys were out the whole day.
Yay! Abanye bebeke Mbombela, abanye bebeke Champions League. It was
the whole day, Bopegi Nedbank Cup, my pela, UEFA. My man, I said, hello, baby. Tomorrow, church.
Messi! Yeah, but beautiful day for sports. We know that obviously other sports was going on, but I see something about the president of Mexico.
Hey, you told me that about Iland. What is it? There'll be a first female president in Mexico.
There is. Claudia Sheinbaum has been elected the first woman president of Mexico.
I hope she rules with the iron fist, because those cartels are serious in Mexico, bro. I'll deal in Abonyao be I was Tembiso Tengisenyaobe. No. These guys have helicopters and submarines.
I think she must be somebody who probably doesn't even rule like that, because probably the country has been known to have an iron fist, and she probably brings a softer feel. But that's some news that we thought we should share, because it's along politics and it's happening worldwide. I mean, this is global news that's happening out there. We like my politics or screaming on my stats, man.
I think I'm going to go my numbers, Brian. I like the numbers. Let's get into the numbers, because Yonkinto was election, KZN being won by MK.
Sure.
Man.
So I mean, we've touched a little bit on the conversations. There's obviously so much more happening on Twitter. Let me just open the app quickly. I want to see what topics are trending before we touch on these things very quickly. I know that there's obviously some topics that we might have missed, but electricity, we know that load shedding might come back.
But the chairman of ESCOM, Mr. Mteto Nyati, he promised us good now. That's just rumors. Okay, it won't happen. He's got everything under control. So I trust that homie, man. Not homie. Ubaba is a reputable businessman.
Sure, I'm telling you, straight. And then before we actually forget, the 21-day photo challenge was absolutely amazing. It's definitely over. It was over on the first. I think we're going to tell you guys the stats about next time, because this time we actually wanted to keep it very political and then jump onto the stats. We're going to give you more next week and perhaps announce the winner also next week. We know that we're not doing it this week. I thought, let me cover it quickly. But let's jump onto the stats before we do anything. We've got about 5 minutes. Let's jump onto this. So in terms of the total tweets from last week, you're seeing a record of 9 million tweets.
Never seen that. The highest we've seen was 7.2
Seven
or
something.
7.4.
Yeah.
9 million.
So a lot of people were active on Twitter. It's up by 28% from the week before. So that is absolutely amazing. And then we've got the unique authors. In terms of unique authors, it's down by 41%. So 111,000 people were tweeting last week. So down by 41%. So it's not like a lot of people were tweeting, but a lot of tweets were happening. That's what we can say. And then let's jump on to the negative word cloud, Libs. What are we looking at here?
The negative word cloud, we have words like ANC in big.
Yeah.
I'm not exaggerating. EFF, IEC, because they believe some thingies
Votes
were
were
rigged, right?
Yeah.
MK is showing up. We also have voting station. Voting station is showing up there. And I'd say some of the usual topics that we have in our negative, which is Israel and Palestine. South Africans.
Okay,
Which I don't think it's bad. South Africans is not bad. It's good.
It's for sure. It's just what's happening right now. But the sentiment and the negative sentiment went up by 38% from last week. So that's quite a lot. I mean, we know that politics is happening right now. But let's jump on to the positive word cloud. What is that saying? Then I'll tell you what the positive sentiment did actually.
So there we're looking at vote. I'm not guessing. A lot of people went out to vote.
For sure.
Yes, there was negativity around it because of the efficiency IEC at some voting states. I'll say some because I have some friends that walked in there 15 minutes, they were done.
Yeah. Some were very quick.
You understand?
And some
like
were very
it was
frustrated.
that prompt.
We saw at 1 a.m. some people were still voting at VETs and some universities and things like that. So there were a lot of problems were happening there.
So there's also happy. People are happy because of the turnout itself. ANC is there. You'll see in our trending topics something very interesting I've never seen. I think they paid a lot of money for this.
Sure.
But anyways, you'll see. We also have South Africa in the good and the positive word cloud. EFF is showing up. I don't know why. Hey, they never die hard.
For sure. Yeah.
About die hard.
I think the EFF is showing because a lot of people were hoping to actually get the EFF in. They speak positive of the EFF, but unfortunately they did badly. They were hoping that they did good, but
they were gonna perform
for
well
sure. Yeah,
guys.
The positive sentiment, it went up by 10%, which is also an interesting one. So in terms of the sentiment, we're seeing an increase on both the negative and the positive.
Yeah.
And then now that we've touched on Pinchamigui, negative sentiment and the positive sentiment, let's jump into the busiest hours because it must be interesting to see what day were we actually really active last week on Twitter.
You'll be shocked, right?
Yeah.
Because you're probably thinking it's Wednesday. And it's not Wednesday. I was hoping it's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday the 29th, right?
Yeah, the voting day. But
Yeah.
it's not, it's actually the day after.
Okay.
I think it's a spillover conversation because some people couldn't make it to the voting stations. The results were starting to be read out. About 2% counted, 1%, one vote counted. Yeah,
One seat,
ANC.
yeah. I think ANC definitely got ahead of themselves.
100%.
They did, yeah.
100%. They were so happy, right? Because they saw people going out in numbers. We have nothing against ANC. I think we just need to clear the air.
Yeah.
There's no one we are support. There's no party that this podcast supports.
Yeah, that's
we
straight
support
up.
South Africa and positivity.
Straight up.
Yeah. The busiest day was actually Thursday with 1.7 million tweets in one day.
That is
In
a
one day.
lot.
Langolodwa Zooms.
That is a lot. We're going to see what the trending topics were because that also might just tell us what people might have been talking about on a day.
Yeah.
But that is absolutely monumental, Libs. I mean, the previous trending most busy day was Wednesday, and now it's a landslide Thursday the next day. And you're right, it's contributed by what was happening in the voting stations and the politics.
Yep.
And then let's go to the busiest hours.
The busiest hour, we're looking at 11 a.m. in the morning, right? The highest. The highest is actually 10, followed by 11 a.m. And then in the evening, we're looking at 7 p.m., followed by 8 p.m.
Okay, so they also haven't changed much, but people are still
not
very
that
much active during those times. Yeah, for sure. So that's an interesting one. I mean, let's jump onto the top trending hashtags now.
Sure.
What was trending last week? Because, I mean, what we've talked about, it's literally all about it.
It's all about it, and we all know what it is. It's right.
Yeah, it's not a secret, guys. But,
should I take the bottom three?
Please take the bottom three,
and then you give them the top.
Yeah.
Okay. So at number 5, we're looking at Nedbank Cup that trended, which is amazing, with 28,000 mentions and 226 million impressions. Right.
Shout out to the Nedbank
That's
Cup.
dope,
Yeah.
man. Well done.
Shout out for real.
Brand
I mean,
this
when
is
we
all
look
organic.
yeah, for sure. When we look at they're the only ones
that
have got nothing to do with politics.
Yep. They are the only one. Wow.
In our top 10. They've got
Actually.
nothing to do with politics.
Okay, and then Gunaleza's Patalelwe, but we'll get into that after, right?
Sure.
And then number 4, we're looking at election day. Ne? Election day got 28,000 mentions and 469 million impressions.
For sure, yeah, that's actually a dope day there on their one lives. I mean, election day is a really, really big one in South Africa generally. So the numbers are hella crazy. Hella crazy.
Yeah.
You want to touch on this last one?
The last one we have, it's board. I think it's board, bro. They got some foot soldiers.
Yeah.
No one would say this.
What did they say?
I'm voting ANC. Hashtag I'm voting ANC.
Aye.
With 30,000 mentions and 870 million impressions. And they have another one which says, lead us, Ramaphosa. I've never heard these things. I've never heard someone say
I think
this.
their marketing team is working extra.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Labantu abakufonela sibafake ku-flight mode bijamba sidisturbe labantu hayi besidisturbe. Why?
Beyivelile lapha.
Beyivelile lapha escreen kodwa ngesibabonisa. Uyakufonela.
uRamaphosa uyangithinta.
Ukhuluma ikaka.
Ramzito, don't do this to me, sir.
Yeah, man. But those are the bottom 3 top trending hashtags in Zanzibar. Now, let me cover the top 2. So, at number 2, we've got hashtag vote EFF and 35,000 posts and 584 million impressions. So, shout out to, obviously, the EFF. They've been coming up here quite a lot, especially this hashtag vote EFF. And then at number 1, our brand new number 1 in South Africa, of course, we know what this is all about. Hashtags elections results.
Yeah.
With 87,000 posts and 386 million.
No, that's 3.8. Yeah, 3.8 billion.
Oh, my word. 3.8 billion.
These are big brother numbers.
Impressions.
These are big brother numbers.
The election results literally got everything.
Yep.
Yeah, that's quite a lot. Interesting one, but please check your screen there, my boy. But yeah, that is actually our number 1 on Spaza Talk. Hashtag elections results trending at number 1 in South Africa with 87,000 posts, like I said, and 3.8 billion impressions. Shout out to the top trending hashtags Mzansi. And of course, we've got a bonus hashtag Mzansi. We told you guys about it, and it is something that's exciting, something that I've been speaking about for ages. And the bonus hashtag for this week is hashtag 21 Day Photo Challenge SA. And the bonus hashtag is voting day on the day, because on voting day, we actually had voting day.
Yep.
And people
so we also contributed.
Yeah.
People submitted their thumbs. Not like that Russian mafias. We don't cut people's thumbs here. They just picture.
Sure. Yeah, it was actually an amazing day.
But what do you think of these markers they were using this year? The tender was a bit shaky.
The tender was shaky. They had to
Hey.
Some people
Dude, mine was weird, dog. Looks like I was bleeding. Like my nail was bleeding.
Yeah, I think something was up with those ones. But yeah, interesting. I mean, in the voting, we know voting is still going to carry on being a topic. And of course, we're going to talk about it next week also. But I'm a tender. Tina sifuna ama contract. I was thinking it's a contract.
You need a contract.
We put a proper marker that you can wash out and it doesn't damage your nails. Do you know if this damages your nails?
Never know. Because it's cancer probably.
It's probably you know what I mean?
Or COVID. Or swine flu.
COVID all over again. Oh boy. We need to check this out. But anyway, let's jump on to the most mentioned people on Twitter last week, and then we'll close it off in Bijami. Let me start with the bottom 3, which is also a bit of a shock. I mean, we've seen somebody we've never seen here before. In fact, 2 people we've never seen here before. So at number 5, we got Ed Susan Dlomo with 27,000 mentions, and he also got 173 million impressions. Wow, so he was mentioned quite a lot. And I know the reason why he was mentioned is Susan Dlomo is because he was giving a lot of updates.
Sure.
And then obviously abantu bamateka about was but he was giving a lot of information around the elections, which was quite interesting. So shout out to Susan Dlomo for coming in at number 5 on Spaza Talk and in South Africa and the most trending and most mentioned people. Nice. And at number 4, we've got at Julius S. Malema with 37,000 mentions, and he's also on 341 million impressions. So shout out to Juju for also coming in at number 4. And then at number 3, we got his house, his party, his company at EFF South Africa mentioned 43,000 times. And he's also, these impressions are
impressive, eh?
What is this?
It's a billion. 5 billion.
Is it 5 billion?
Yeah.
5 billion impressions for at EFF South Africa. Of course, they were mentioned quite a lot of times. People are wondering why they didn't win elections. Are they going to win elections? Are they going to come number 3? How come the DA is taking over them? MK
No,
is taking over them.
I'm sorry, Zooms. I'm sorry. It's 500 million.
It's 500 million.
Yeah. Hey, my eyes. I'm thinking billion because of that other contract.
Yeah, it is 500 million impressions. Apologies for that one. But yeah, that's actually number 3, EFF South Africa. As I mentioned, the stats. So what is number 2? Because he's been dethroned again. And I don't know how he's here because it's all been in politics. All these people have been talking about politics.
So he was also talking politics.
Okay.
More especially the Eastern Cape region of it. Ati, they must stop complaining because they voted ANC in. Next time he hears people saying "Nyara, nyara, ANC," because you put them there. Nina Eastern Cape, you're disappointing me.
So at
but
number 2,
not
who
in
do we
those
have?
nice words,
No,
right?
no, not in those nice words.
No,
Okay,
number
fair,
2
fair.
we have at Chris XL 102 with 70,000 mentions and 507 million impressions.
That's also impressive. I mean, that's
More money.
Yeah, that's a lot for him, for Chris XL coming in number 2. And who's on number 1? I mean, this is a
Number
brand new
one,
number 1
yeah.
also.
Number 1 owned the number 1 hashtag spot, and now they're owning the mentions, which is IEC South Africa with 77,000 mentions and 683 million impressions.
Shout out to the IEC for coming in at number 1. And you know what? We need to commend them. I know that, you know, there were mishaps here and there. Things were going wrong and right. But you know what? We had an election and it happened to be smooth. There aren't too many bad things that happened except just on the results itself. So we can just thank them in some way. So shout out to them. Of course, they were mentioned the most because, you know, I mean, it is politics at this time. But yeah, I mean, it has been an interesting week, Libs.
Crazy week indeed, man.
Yeah.
But we're seeing the change.
We're seeing the change. Huh?
Yeah, the MPs are going. All the ones that were getting fed checks for nothing.
Yeah.
Aye, Baba, you must work.
Oh, for sure. We've seen a lot of people that are going to be out of jobs, and which is quite sad, obviously. But, you know, it is politics, and we need changes, people. So shout out to everybody who went out and voted. And as you can see, this week, it's all about politics. And, of course, we talked about Jabulani Kanyele, who's now in court.
No Kanyele.
Kumalo. He's in court
Ndong.
right now because there was a court proceeding today because they're actually taking the MK to court.
Yeah,
And he's saying that Zuma wasn't meant to be the party leader. So now he happens to be the party leader. But anyway, we are expecting more politics next week. We are expecting more crazy stats coming up. And we're expecting more party coalitions, conversations happening on Spaza Talk. So make sure that you subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Make sure that you hit the follow button on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts. And wherever you're listening to us, give us a shout out. And we'll make sure that you keep delivering content. And once again, we would really apologize about the video. But if you can hear us clearly, give us a like, give us a comment somewhere. Use the hashtag Spaza Talk, and we'll definitely be able to talk to you. Do we have an ad of the week this week?
Ad of the week, no. I think I was so focused on elections, and
The ad of the week is actually the one we talked about, which was I sent it to you. I think it's an Apple.
Samsung. It's a Samsung ad
where Jaden Smith takes a photo of an apple.
Apple.
Yeah, it is like, and I think they had something they talk about. Now this is how you. This is something you know. This is how you.
There was a good word play.
There's a good word play on it. I think you know what. We'll actually talk about it next week rather instead of talking about it this week. We want to give you proper information. But yeah, that has been it on Spaza Talk. Umshuti Wabashuti is out of here. I'll catch you guys next week on the next episode. Make sure that you mention me and you interact with me on Twitter at Spaza Talk, and make sure that you also give a shout out to our sister company, Color Space. Make sure you check them out, www.colorspace.co.za. And Lips, I'll catch you next week.
Next week it is, Zooms. Ciao.
Peace.